Not getting too early a start this morning, which is probably not a bad thing. And you see how much you have to pack every time. And unfortunately, my maid isn't coming to clean my tent until, I think, Tuesday. And given today's only sort of Monday, all this has got to be packed up before we head out. So as I said, it's probably not going to be a very early start to the day today. Now, how did we sleep, Jude?
I slept lovely.
You were asleep very early.
I always look this attractive in the morning.
I know, tell me about it. I can always hear when you're asleep.
Because I've got a crisp bag.
Yeah, it is. It's a bag of crisps that you lay on. Whereas mine is one of these little...
But I have my little AeroPress.
Oh, hang on, I'll come back again.
So I've got my
yeah, the AeroPress with coffee. It's very nice.
It's very, very nice.
It's very nice.
And then when I travel, I keep the things in here.
Mm-hmm.
So
No expense spared.
It's lovely. Look, coffee's gone.
Now, for the piece de resistance, we'll wander around and show you our shoes from yesterday.
Oh.
Absolutely. Jude's a little bit drier than mine, but mine are still saturated. I'm very, very disappointed. We were told that they were supposed to be Gore-Tex shoes, but they are absolutely saturated. So there'll be a lot of squelching beneath my feet or in my shoes once I put them on later today. But
When I researched them, they said waterproof. And
Yes.
it's not that it rained a lot. It was just a heavy drizzle.
Consistent
for
all day, yeah.
2 or 3 hours.
It wasn't torrential.
And for me, it took about 2 or 3 hours for my feet to be soaked. It's coming through the tongue. So they haven't waterproofed the tongue, which is really stupid because it doesn't matter how many gaiters you put on, there's still going to be a bit that water comes through. So not impressed, and they are going to get some kind of hell raising from annoyed Jude.
And I'd hate to be on the end of that. Anyway, time for breakfast, folks. So a breeze picking up now as we've come out of the little depression, little dell where Deepdene is. We're not far away from getting back onto the beach sand. We're going to turn right in about 150 metres, come off the dune, and then we've got about 2 k's heading towards Hamelin Bay before we then, thankfully, get off the soft sand and start to go along the coast a little bit inland, still over sand dune type footing, but it will be a lot better than this. I feel like you get a bit bogged at times coming up these sand dunes. The ocean not too far away, just around the corner. In fact, there it is in the distance. Still blustery, certainly will be down on the ocean, but overhead things looking a lot better rain-wise from yesterday when it was just persistent for 4 or 5 hours. Back at the ocean. As you can see, small things amuse small minds. Hasn't written my name anywhere, but there we go. That was very good, Jude. You feeling happier than yesterday with the nicer weather?
I feel drier.
Feel drier. The shoes are actually dried out with the heat of the feet in there now.
Yeah, yesterday was interesting.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I would have used a better. Oh, she's going to get a photo now of her beautiful artwork. How lovely.
Woo!
When she picks her phone up, that is. So here we are now at the blowholes area. If you had been here yesterday when the wind and the surf was really pumping, you'd really know about it because the blowholes would be fully active. I'm not sure we'll get much spray coming through here today. Having done it last year though from the opposite direction, you really do need to watch your footing. There's no doubt about that. It can be pretty slippery and it's pretty jagged up there in various places as well. So keeping an eye on what you're doing is a very wise idea. Quite incredible geography here. I think it's millions of years of erosion. Large parts of the rock are just broken off. Massive gaps in some areas, little mini blowholes in others, but where the rock has just cracked with the enormity of the weather conditions that have pummeled this bit of the coast, as I said, over millions of years. At the moment it's a fairly benign day. Yesterday it would have been quite spectacular. These blowholes would have been in full operation. Would have been like seeing a fleet of humpbacks coming along the coast. But today, not a lot to speak of in regard to spray. A little bit of an anticlimax. It wasn't as bad as when we came, or it was a bit rougher in November than what it was today.
There's another blow in there.
Yeah, whoa, there's... Not sure we can hear this, but every now and then it sounds like the belly of an angry dragon or monster. When you just hear like a rumbling, thundering sound. Just like that. Again, you can just hear the power of nature as it comes roaring through the blowholes. Even though today's not a very, very, whoa, windy day, but there we go, a little bit of splash from deep down in the blowhole. Did you say you just saw a snake?
Yeah.
Whereabouts?
It wasn't very big, just went in through there.
Okay.
Maybe the size of my finger.
The size of your finger?
Oh, width-wise.
Oh, width, that's good.
Length back, probably that long.
If it was the length of your finger, I wouldn't worry.
So it was a juvenile.
Juvenile. Good. See you, buddy.
Went off in through there.
Okay, bye. Once again, a significant change in terrain here on the Cape to Cape. We're sort of inland from Cozy Corner at the moment. So we've come off the beach past the blowholes and now well, a fairly firm track, some sort of vehicle track, but starting to heat up a little bit now as well. So starting to feel it a little bit. We're probably about halfway now to Hamelin Bay, maybe a little bit over. But this isn't the most scenic part of the Cape to Cape here. Although I must admit, last time when we came down this way, back in November, after a very wet winter in the southwest of WA, the wildflowers were absolutely spectacular. But of course, this time of the year, coming off summer, there's not a lot around in that regard. Well, here you are in a rather windy spot. We're just going to stop for lunch now. This is the Foul Bay Lighthouse. There used to be a lighthouse about 3 kilometres northwest of here at Hamelin Island, but that was actually built in 1937 and decommissioned in 1967, and they decided to build this one here. The original 1936 French-made lens used at this island was previously installed actually at South Barrow Island, which is way up near Karratha, before it was installed here in 1967, but the lens removed in 2004 and can be seen on display at the Cape Lewin Lighthouse. It's a good thing I memorised all this stuff before I came on the Cape to Cape, otherwise I'd have no idea what I'm talking about. Whoa! Shit. Nearly trod on you, didn't I? I nearly trod on you, mister. Well, that serves me right, Jude, for looking through the lens of my camera rather than looking at the ground.
Never do that.
Never do that.
No. Not when it's first sun after cold weather. The snakes are going to be out.
Yeah. Well, he nearly got trodden on.
It's only little.
Oh yeah, well they say the juveniles though are the ones that don't withdraw their fangs or whatever and are likely to put venom in you.
They can't control their venom.
Great. Anyway, that's what I was going to film, folks, the unusually different track down here, but that was somewhat of a surprise. So heart rate's okay, we'll keep moving now. We just passed another couple that are heading down towards the blowholes, and they too had just come past a snake. So given yesterday was so cold and wet and reasonably miserable, not surprisingly, a lot of snakes are on the track today, or at least laying on them, near them, just trying to sun themselves. So a good idea to keep looking at the ground, which I'm doing even though I'm using the GoPro. You just need to be a little bit careful, as I did a while ago. You don't get close to actually treading on one if you're not paying attention. And here we are, back at the ocean again. Not too far away at all now from Hamelin Bay and the caravan park where we'll pitch tent tonight. Very, very close. In fact, it's just around that point over there and we're going to be there. So here we are, 20 to 4, and we're all set up and ready to head to bed when the time comes here out at Hamelin Bay. A little bit more luxurious today. It's actually a caravan park, so you might be able to see through the trees down there. There are a couple of van sites, a couple of temporary buildings here as well, and most importantly, down through this way, past those wooden stairs just there, is a nice hot shower and a place also to be able to wash your clothes. So this is where we're going to spend tonight. It's certainly a lot more benign than it was this time last night. No roaring breeze around, which is going to be quite lovely, and might even keep the fly off the tent tonight and have a look at the stars if I wake up in the middle of the evening. So here we are, Judith, overlooking the Hamelin Bay sunset. It's took a bit of time to go yet. The sun doesn't go down for about another approximately 58 minutes. How have you pulled up at the end of the day?
My knees hurt.
Could be our age, that's the problem.
Yeah, and I like luxuries in my backpack.
Yeah, like these. These Hillinox chairs that we're sitting on, if you can sort of get an idea of what they're all about. They weigh next to nothing, but this was Jude's brilliant idea. How long have you had yours for? A couple of years?
Yeah.
Yeah, they are very good. They take the weight off your back when you finish the end of the day hiking, but here at the moment, absolutely beautiful. Just a very slight breeze. And as I said, the sun's probably about another 55 minutes away from dipping beneath the horizon. So we're going to have an early night tonight. We've got a fairly early start tomorrow. We want to be out of the park, caravan park, by about 8:30. We've got 7 k's of beach sand first up, and then we make our way, unfortunately, through some of the terrain that was very badly burnt in a very extensive bushfire just back before Christmas. So it's going to look a lot more stark than it did when we came down here in November last year. But for the moment, we're going to sit back and enjoy the sunset.